Joining me now is Nationals MP Barnaby Joyce. Barnaby, thanks for coming on the program tonight. Quite the contrast. Donald Trump describing climate change as a scam, and Anthony Albanese describing it, he went on to say, an amazing opportunity.
Well, let's look at it. Donald Trump was speaking and the room was packed. Our Prime Minister was speaking and like it was a monitors and a couple of lost people and, I know, tourists. No one cares. That's the problem. No one cares what Australia really thinks. If they did, we'd be able to say to Xi Jinping, stop making all those nuclear weapons and aircraft carriers and circumnavigating Australia and looking like you're going to blow us out of the water. And he'd do it. But, of course, he doesn't. See, you're seeing right there now, people don't really care what... See, there's Anthony and Penny listening to the President of the United States. And it's hard to find a seat because everybody is there. And later on, Anthony turns up and you could have got a seat in the front row because nobody cares. See, Donald Trump is a real estate salesman. He knows to call BS when he sees it. When he sees the pressure salesman up, when he sees the group that are gullible and about to get their shirt taken off them, Donald Trump knows how to say, see this as a scam. You're going to get done over. You're going to get ripped off. And we're really lucky he says that. He belled the cat, to borrow from Aesop's fables. He belled the cat. But see, what happened in that fable, of course, is none of the mice had the courage to actually put a bell on the cat. But the great thing about Donald Trump, he actually does put a bell on the cat. And he says to you, you're gullible. You're a fool. If you get sucked into this, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get ripped off. And I wish our politicians would say that. Don't get sucked in. Don't be a clown. Use your head. Like Chris Bowen cannot change that. He really can't. And doesn't matter how much he charges you to do it, it won't happen.
Donald Trump certainly rings a very big bell, but I think it's falling on deaf ears, at least as far as our federal Labor government goes. The thing I want to ask you though, Barnaby, is it seemed to me like Albanese's speech was really a pitch to get a seat on the United Nations Security Council. But as Greg Sheridan wrote in The Australian today, non-permanent members have next to no influence at all, really.
Well, I've got no problems with him having a go at getting on the Security Council. I think, look, I'll take my punches where I think people deserve to get them. If he wants to go on the Security Council and gets a seat, good luck to you, Anthony. Well done. But, you've got to be taken seriously as a global player. And the problem we're doing at the moment is we're showing that we're asking, Europe are smart because this is a non-tariff trade barrier with their sort of net zero garbage. But for us, we're just straight out dumb. It's just hurting us. And people are unlikely to vote for dumb people. They generally want astute, hard-nosed players. I hope we get onto the Security Council. I really do. I don't think we will.
Well, the other thing, of course, they're touting for is to host the climate conference in Adelaide next year. They're working very hard with that. Chris Bowen is talking to the First Lady of Turkey, trying to twist her arm to see if they'll drop their bid. Why is this so important for the government? I mean, they are fixated on hosting this event.
It is outrageous. It's a billionaires fan club. You got to understand, when they do this thing, this COP thing, they want them to fly into Adelaide, all the billionaires and their corporate jets and the hangers-oners, and they'll be, none of them will be living net zero. I can assure you that. That's for us dumb plucks to be living net zero. They'll just fly in on multiple 100 times carbon emissions, and they'll, the best thing you'd have is some Giorgio Armani shops and some. Nick Pasquale will go very well with his pearls that weekend, and some bling, lots of bling salesmen. They'll be big there because it's just a big party. It's a party for the uber rich. We're talking a billionaires party, not a millionaires party. They won't even be able to buy a motel room. It's a billionaires fling, and it shows you how what a complete joke, a complete corruption of the principle of trying to do anything effective this whole process is. And why on earth we want it, God only knows. But I hope it actually does turn up because it gives me a chance to actually absolutely bucket on them for the absolute hypocrites they are.
Well, I think we know why they want to host this conference. We've been watching them sort of strutting around at the General Assembly of the United Nations and at the various events in New York. And clearly they're enjoying, mixing with the world's elite. The Prime Minister was also vocal at the New York Climate Summit about China's need to go harder on cutting emissions. Here he was.
It is good that there is progress being made. We, of course, would like there to be more. But it is a step forward, and indeed China has exceeded its previous targets.
Is China, what China has announced, is it enough?
No, well, we would like to see them do more, and we'd like to see new coal-fired power plants not open. But it is a step forward.
He's a lot more encouraging of China than he is of the United States, I must say. Beijing has pledged to cut emissions by 7%. What difference will China cutting emissions by 7% make?
Anthony, they're opening up a new coal-fired power plant every 4 days. It is insane. I mean, Australia could we're trying to put ourselves into a cave and we look like we're going to do it. The only scary thing about that is we won't be able to defend ourselves, and that is totally terrifying. But even when we put ourselves into a cave, it's only going to be a very small period of time. And just the emissions China will create in that small period of time is more than the whole of Australia creates. So this is ridiculous. As if Xi Jinping gives a toss about what Anthony Albanese says about trying to take the last 250 million peasants out of poverty in China. They're going to look after China's going to look after the Chinese. There's the Telegram. China's going to look after the Chinese, and if that means building a coal-fired power station every 4 days, that's precisely what they're going to do. If they think you're dumb enough to hear them saying, we're making a pledge to reduce carbons, well, I suppose you're dumb enough to believe it. But, don't be so gullible. That's basically what Trump's saying. Don't be so gullible. Don't be so dopey. And, he wants China to do more. Do you honestly think that even made a brief to Xi Jinping? Oh, by the way, in a sit-down, the Prime Minister of Australia said, Xi, you're a naughty boy. Handsome boy says you're a naughty boy, and you've got to reduce carbon emissions. Does anybody, any of your listeners, even vaguely think that happened?
I'm pretty sure that did not happen. Barnaby Joyce, always great to talk to you. Thanks so much.